I am the Dadcrafter, and this is the Skyblock Challenge. This is a remix of episodes 1 and 2, and this is how it all began here with my Skyblock Challenge. Attempts 1, 2, 3, and 4. This was originally posted on my old YouTube channel, and I've now moved over to the official The Dadcrafter YouTube channel, and I figured it was time to bring these videos over here as well. So this video is actually a remix of episodes 1 and episode 2, and we're going to watch those in their full glory. But before we do that, just wanted to show you a little bit of how we got started, which is this tiny little block in the sky. One tree, a bunch of dirt, and a chest with a few items in it. That's all we started with. From there, we've made our way so far. Our island is now huge. We've got so many things going on. We're working on episode number 11 as I prepare this remix of episodes 1 and 2. So take this journey with me all the way back in time, and let's see where we began with episodes 1 and 2. Hey there. I am the Dadcrafter, and you may be wondering, where did I come up with this excellent name, the Dadcrafter? Well, I'm the Dadcrafter because that's where my time in Minecraft all began. My kids got into Minecraft just a few years back, and they started playing this crazy game, and they said, "Hey, Dad, you got to play this one with us." And I watched them play for a little while and came to the realization that, you know what, this Minecraft game actually looks like a lot of fun. So I've decided to launch my YouTube channel, The Dadcrafter, where I'm going to undertake different challenges that my kids lay out for me. In this first episode, we're going to start off with the Skyblock Challenge. The Skyblock Challenge, I'm going to attempt it till I get to a couple of goals that my kids set for me. Those goals are get to the Nether and get a team of villagers. That's right. I have to get at least 2 villagers so I can start breeding them and actually get myself to the point that I have multiple villagers. So get to the Nether, breed some villagers, and of course, survive, because who doesn't play Minecraft to survive? So here I am kicking off my first attempt at the Skyblock Challenge. And you can see in Skyblock, you start off with a small section of dirt and a chest with a few different items. And I'm going to speed it up here so that you don't have to watch me doing what I'm doing in real time, but rather watch it in a little bit of faster time. And what you can see me doing here is building out my base, giving myself enough space so that I can actually chop down this first tree without losing the saplings. Because in a Skyblock Challenge, your ability to grow trees is actually really important, because without trees, you don't really have much resource to work with. So what I'm doing here is taking all the dirt and spreading it out wide around the tree so that I can go ahead and chop down this tree. And when it drops the saplings, I'll be able to collect those. Very important that I get to collect the saplings that fall. So here I am. Let's go ahead and chop down this first tree that I start the game with just one tree. And let's hope that it drops me at least 1 sapling. Because if it doesn't drop me at least 1 sapling, well, I'm in trouble. So here we go. Got to get this last piece of wood out of the way here. And the tree will now start to fall apart and hopefully drop me at least 1 sapling. So with the wood that I picked up, I did go ahead and craft myself a crafting table. And just like that, I did get 1 sapling. So I'm not in trouble. I'm going to be able to keep this game going because I've got at least 1 sapling. Looks like maybe another one up there. Yep. So that's 2 saplings. So I'll go ahead and I will plant these saplings so that I can attempt to grow some fresh trees. Now you'll see there was a sand block as part of my initial starting, so I do have a couple of pieces of sand. We're going to go ahead and see what happens here. Now we've got those trees planted, so hopefully they'll grow, and I'm just going to wait out this first night. I did build myself a little bit of a hidey hole here so that I have a place to hide out while my tree grows and this first night passes. And I don't have a bed, so I can't just sleep through the night. So I'm just going to kind of watch this tree. And well, I decided to try using my my only 3 pieces of bone meal to grow the tree. And well, as you can see, that didn't work so well. So now I've got a tree that didn't grow with bone meal. And I've got myself a fairly small platform and a little bit of wood to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and craft some planks because I want to expand my platform even more. I want to make a place for mobs to spawn, but I need it to be far enough away from where I'm standing or else the mobs won't spawn. So I'm going to go ahead here and I'm going to create a little platform, a little walkway for me to get to a platform where mobs can spawn. And well, I'm getting myself a little nervous as I do this. So I'm thinking maybe I should do this during the day. But you know what? No, we'll go ahead. We'll keep working at it. We'll go ahead and we'll build this out, a number of blocks away. I know there's a correct number, but I'll tell you what, I sure don't know what it is. And my kids haven't told me. So I'm just going to go ahead and think that this is probably far enough away. And we'll build this platform big enough with the pieces of wood that I have to hopefully get some mobs to spawn. So we're going to go ahead and break this piece of dirt, which kind of stupid there because I lost the piece of dirt as I broke it. But I don't want mobs to be able to walk over and kill me, assuming that they do actually spawn, which so far they're not. But the good news is I've come to the realization that I can make a bed because I did have enough string to craft some wool, and that wool allows me to craft a bed. So let's go ahead, let's go to sleep, and let's see what we can get done here on day 2. Day number 2 has arrived. We survived our first full day of Skyblock challenge, so that's pretty cool. But our tree has yet to grow, so not really sure what to do about that because I need a tree to grow. I need multiple trees to grow. So I've got my 2 tree saplings there. My grass is spreading over the blocks that I've created, but no tree growth. So I'm just going to kind of wait it out here. Got this piece of ice, so I realize that when I break the ice, I get water. So that's good to know because that means that I can do things like plant this sugar cane and get it to grow. So I actually wasn't sure if I would start with water or not, but it looks like on the Skyblock, you do start with some water. And I'm going to just kind of look. There's nothing underneath here, nothing really worth seeing. So we'll come back up to the top. And we're just going to kind of think through here for a minute. What do we want to do? Well, we've got water. We've got saplings. Yeah, I'm not really sure what to do with that, but I don't really like the way this water is flowing over the edge here. So I'm going to go ahead and figure out how to make that water go into a hole. And it doesn't really look like I'm having much luck here, but I sleep through another night. So now we're on day 3 and my water is still just flowing there. So I think what I need to do is I need to use my bucket and I need to pick up that water and I need to put it back in the hole. So let's dump out this lava here. It's going to pour over the side for a minute. And let's go ahead and we will pick up the water and put it in the hole. And then we'll go ahead and we'll pick up our lava. Okay, so now at least we don't have water pouring over the edge. We've got water in a hole and we've got trees that just don't seem to want to grow. So we're going to go ahead and remove some dirt and try putting the tree up on a piece of dirt, the sapling that is on a piece of dirt, and see if that'll grow. Of course, it's not growing, and we haven't seen any mobs spawn yet, but we have slept through both nights. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to wait through this night to see if any mobs will spawn. And well, unfortunately, no mobs have spawned, and we're now on day 4, and our tree has not grown. So starting to think maybe this world is broken, because I don't have any trees growing, I don't have any mobs spawning, and I am kind of at a loss. So not really sure what to do here. So I'm just kind of thinking as I'm breaking blocks and, I'm thinking that it's time to end this world. Yep, that's it. First world, first attempt, it's done. I don't know what to do. So there was attempt number 1. Game is over. Let's go ahead, though. And let's jump in here to attempt number 2. So attempt 1 ended in utter failure. We couldn't even get the trees to grow that we need to make anything happen. So we ran out of resources, and we're going to start off the same way in attempt 2 as we did in attempt 1. We're going to go ahead, we're going to expand our platform, and we're going to chop down our first tree. We're going to hope that we get a sapling. Looks like we're going to get one here. Just got to wait for it to fall. Wait for it to fall, and there it is. We got a sapling. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to plant that sapling, and we're going to make ourselves also a little pit for some water. And I actually think we're going to throw some lava in there as well. And I think we're going to make ourselves a cobblestone generator, because in the last game where we ran into trouble was that we didn't have a way to expand our platform any further. Well, the way to do that, which my children pointed out to me, is that you can create a cobblestone generator. To do that, you need to mix water and lava, but you need to do it in such a way that the water doesn't actually touch the lava. The lava needs to touch the water. I know that sounds kind of confusing, but you'll see in a cobblestone generator, what you want is your water to kind of flow down like that, like it's doing here. And you want your lava to flow into the water, and then it will create cobblestone. Now, if you do it the other way around, where your water flows into your lava, you create obsidian. And obsidian is a one-time deal. Your one block of lava will turn into one block of obsidian, and that's it. You'll never get any more obsidian because your lava is gone and you can't get any cobblestone. So the key to a cobblestone generator is that you need to have your lava flow into your water and not the other way around. So I've got one piece of cobblestone here. I've got a pickaxe. I'm going to go ahead and break that cobblestone. So I now have one piece of cobblestone, but it's a cobblestone generator. So we can continue to generate more. We just need to keep our lava there. The lava will flow into the water and it will create the cobblestone. And then we just need to go ahead and continue to break this cobblestone and collect it, which we didn't really do there. We kind of let it burn up in the lava. So we're going to stand on top of it. We're going to try to find different ways here to get our cobblestone as we break it. And you'll see here, I'm breaking all sorts of cobblestone and I'm collecting most of it. So we're up now to about 20, 23, 24, 25. So we're doing good here. We're collecting all sorts of cobblestone. And you can see that for a while here, I'm just going to collect cobblestone basically all the way through my first night, just collecting cobblestone. So I do make myself a cobblestone pickaxe and I go ahead and make myself some cobblestone planks. Now, these cobblestone planks are going to let me, cobblestone slabs are going to let me expand my platform and going to give me an opportunity to go ahead and build that mob spawning platform that I talked about earlier. Because remember, I want to be able to spawn mobs. That's how I'm going to get bones. That's how I'm going to get rotten flesh. That's how I'm going to get arrows and bows and all sorts of great things that you can get from mobs. But I need a place that's far enough away from me that the mobs will actually spawn. So this time I built my platform a little bit further out. As you can see, I'm still nervous that somebody's going to just run off that platform and get me. So I do break that block. I do go ahead and cover up my lava because lava left uncovered will spark. It'll shoot off little sparks of lava, and those little sparks of lava will ultimately catch on fire or catch things on fire. And, I don't want to lose my crafting table. I don't want to lose my trees, anything like that. So still waiting for that first tree to grow, but didn't waste my bone meal this time after seeing that that wasn't going to do the trick, and not sitting here with nothing to do because I have a cobblestone generator, which is letting me do other things to expand my platform, like building this spawning platform, which now is looking pretty big. I mean, I think I should be able to actually get some mobs here sooner than later. So, again, I'm trying to get to this goal of get to the Nether. To get to the Nether, I'm ultimately going to have to collect enough lava to build a Nether portal. In order to do that, I'm going to need to use my one lava and turn it into multiple, which the way to do that is to use pointed dripstone. And the only way in this world that I'm going to get pointed dripstone, because there's not going to be any dripstone caves, is going to be to find a wandering trader. And I'm going to have to be able to trade with that wandering trader to get some emeralds. And then I'm going to need to trade for that pointed dripstone. And as you can see, I've got my first tree. So success, my tree did grow. So we're already doing better in this world than we did in our first attempt. Attempt 2 is looking pretty sunny right now. We've got a tree. We've got a spawning platform. We'll hopefully get more saplings from this first tree, but we do have another one just in case. Going to keep expanding my platform here. That's a big part of this Skyblock challenge. You need a big enough platform that you can do all the things you want to do. So I'm going to keep expanding the platform as I collect cobblestone, expand the platform. You kind of get the drill there. And as you can see, I've got my first spider out on my spawning platform. So again, everything coming up Millhouse here with the attempt number 2. We've got a spider out on our mob spawner. We've got an expanded platform with a growing tree. We've got a cobblestone generator that's functional. Everything's looking good, except now we have a witch out on our spawning platform. And while eventually I'm going to need a witch, because a witch is going to be necessary in order for me to actually convert my zombie villagers into a villager. Right now, I am nowhere near ready for that. So a witch is a little scary because they can attack from a distance, but a zombie is perfect because they can't really hurt me and I can hurt them because I've got this gap here. He can't get across, and you can see advancement made, Monster Hunter, and I've got my first bit of rotten flesh. So I'm going to jump over and claim that, and I'm going to jump back to my platform, risking my life with every jump because, that's just the way that I roll. So going to go ahead and collect more cobblestone and wait out this first night, because during the day, mobs like zombies and skeletons will burn, and they will leave behind things like bones, arrows, and rotten flesh. So as you can see here, I'm going to get my first arrows. I'm going to get some rotten flesh, and I'm going to get a few more bones. Those bones are going to let me make bone meal, which will let me grow things faster, like my tree, like my grass here. I can actually turn into some plants, which you'll see. I'm going to go ahead and try to do that here to get some grass. And that grass is going to hopefully give me some wheat seeds when I break it. And you'll see here that as I break it, boom, I get my first wheat seeds. And those wheat seeds are going to let me start a farm where I can grow wheat, which I'll need for things like hay bales, which are one of the things that the wandering trader will buy from me. Because going back to what I said before, I'm going to ultimately need some pointed dripstone in order to get to the nether. In order to get pointed dripstone, I'm going to need to buy it from a wandering trader. And in order to buy things from a wandering trader, I'm going to need to sell things to a wandering trader. So hay bales are something that I will ultimately want, and that requires hay, which requires me to grow some things on the farm. So I got myself a hoe. I'm going to go ahead and toil some dirt here, and I'm sorry, I said toil, till some dirt here, so that I have a farmable spot. And you're going to see here that I realized that I probably need some additional water, or perhaps just some more dirt over here, but something to make this grow, because right now I don't have any water touching this dirt, so nothing's going to grow on it. So I'm kind of pondering here how I'm going to make this happen. But then I come to realize that there is water close enough, because I have my cobblestone generator nearby, and you can see when the grass, when the block there turned that darker brown color, that indicates that it is getting irrigated, which means that you can grow things on it. So I'm going to go ahead and plant my seeds and get the achievement seedy place, because I have planted my first seeds, and I'm off to the races. I'm going to plant this pumpkin seed that I have. I'm going to go ahead and turn this melon into melon seeds. So using all of the items out of my starter chest, I'm going to go ahead and get myself started here with a little bit of a farm. And because I have some time to wait while things grow, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to build some additional space for my platform. And I'm going to craft myself my first bed using this yellow flour to make some yellow dye, so that I have a yellow bed, because my daughter told me that white beds are boring and that I should have a yellow bed. So I now have a yellow bed. I have a fairly large platform to where I don't really fear I'm going to fall off. And I had some bone meal, so I'm going to go ahead and grow that tree to get some more wood. And I'm going to burn the wood to make some torches. So these logs, sorry, that was the word I was looking for. These logs, you can actually put a log in a furnace and get yourself a torch, a piece of charcoal rather, which you can use to make a torch. So now I can light up my platform so that I don't accidentally get mobs spawning on the platform itself. I'm going to replace the dirt around my lava there with cobblestone, so that I can put more dirt on my platform. That's going to let me ultimately expand my farm and give me a chance to grow some more grass, which is where animals will ultimately spawn, because I do need to spawn some animals if I ever want to get more wool, if I ever want to get leather, if I ever want to get eggs, any of the things that you would get from chickens, cows, pigs. I'm going to need to be able to spawn those things in order to actually get the resources that come along with them. So you can see I'm kind of expanding the pathway that I have out to my spawning platform. I want to make sure that I have room out there to actually fight mobs without getting myself killed, because it doesn't do me a whole lot of good to fight the mobs if I ultimately get myself killed in the process. And I'm going to go ahead and just craft up a few things here. So I'm going to craft up some fences, because I think what I want to do is eliminate that daring jump that I'm doing every time to get out to my platform. So I'm going to create a little fence and gate structure here, so that I have a way to keep mobs from coming onto my main platform while giving me a way to get out onto their platform. So I've created this little fence and gate system that's going to let me control the access to my main platform without making myself have to do this precarious jump every time I want to get out to the spawning platform. And I can go ahead and expand that with some additional gates. I did just find an apple, which is huge, way too early, but huge, because I'm ultimately going to need some golden apples in order to convert zombie villagers into regular villagers. That's going to require 8 gold ingots and the 1 apple. So I'm going to have to find a way to get some gold here. But that's way down the line here, because I don't have any way yet to get gold. I don't even have a zombie villager. and I'm nowhere near ready for that. But down the line, that's going to be necessary. So for right now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to kill some mobs, testing out my new gate mechanism. It looks like it's holding the zombies back pretty well. So I feel pretty good about the progress that I'm making. I have a place for mobs to spawn. Mobs can give you all sorts of things. Like, for example, a zombie, most of the time it's going to drop rotten flesh, but every once in a while, it'll actually drop you a iron ingot. And those iron ingots are going to be really helpful. Now, the one mob that's not very helpful in this game is a creeper, because for one thing, creepers blow up. And I don't really want my platform getting blown up. So I have to kind of do this dance with the creeper where I hit him and then I run away, and then I hit him and then I run away. And all that he's going to drop me is gunpowder, which gunpowder is great, except that it's not really useful in a skyblock world. I don't want TNT. I don't have anything I need to blow up. And I also don't really need fireworks, because I'm not going to get an elytra, at least not anytime soon. But you see here, my fatal flaw is that spiders can actually get over my little contraption there, my gate and fence structure. So I got to keep that in mind, that spiders are going to be an issue. So I don't really want spiders to come at me, but they don't really hone in on you quite as quickly as other mobs. So pretty safe from them unless I run out there. So at this point, my daughter has made the suggestion that I craft myself a fishing rod now that I've got some string from spiders, and that I do a little bit of fishing, because fish are food. And you can also get all sorts of other cool stuff from fishing. Like you can get leather. You can get, man, there's so many things you can get. I'm not even going to try to name them all, but there's some things that you could get here that would be useful. But I will tell you, I really don't have the patience for fishing in Minecraft. That's one thing I've never really been great about, is just sitting here and waiting for things to come. I like to do things when I play Minecraft. I like to build. I like to explore, but I did just find myself some leather boots. So I guess fishing isn't all bad, because it will give me some items. And there I caught my first fish. And here I've got some mobs spawning. And now that it's day, they have burnt up, and I can go and get myself back to just mining more cobblestone so I can continue to expand my platform. And as you can see here, I'm going to build myself a little house, because my daughter has given me the new challenge that I need a place to live and sleep that is not just the open air. So we're going to go ahead and build ourselves just a real basic little house. Nothing too fancy, but we've got plenty of cobblestone. So we'll build a cobblestone house, and you'll see here it's coming together pretty nicely. Just going to be a basic square house over here on the edge of my territory, edge of my platform, I should say. Not much of a territory, but I'll get some more wood. I'll get some more cobblestone, and that's really all that I need to go ahead and build this house. Now, you may have noticed that I'm not playing with the sound on. I do that a lot when I play Minecraft. I use the hearing impaired sound. So you'll see on the bottom right of my screen that it's saying what's happening as opposed to hearing what's happening. You guys will have to let me know in the comments if that drives you nuts. I can play with the sound on going forward, but I do a lot of my playing where the sound is just annoying to everyone else around me, and they would rather not hear me playing. So I just play and don't have the sound on. And I've gotten pretty used to using that hearing impaired, the visuals of the sound to let me know what's going on. And I'm able to play that way without too much trouble. So just a quick note on why there's no sound to this video other than my lovely voice, is that I don't actually play with the sound on all too often. When I do, you'll hear it, I'm sure. But yeah, like I said, most of the time, I don't play with the sound on. So going to grab some more cobblestone, going to expand my platforms, going to look at my beautiful house here that now has doors and everything. Going to move my bed into the house. Might even move a chest in here, maybe the furnace, the crafting table. We'll make it like a real house here. We're going to put some lights in here so we can see, and then we can look out the door and we can see the zombies that are spawning out on the platform. And we can decide, do we want to go kill these guys, or do we want to just continue to work on our house here? I'm going to move the furnace inside, like I said, and now we're going to cook up some of these fish so that we have some cooked food, because for those who don't know, cooked food, it makes your health regenerate even faster. It helps you quench your hunger even faster. So right now, just kind of trying to continue to expand my world here. I need more resources, so I'm going to mine, I'm going to cut down trees, and I'm just going to collect all the resources that I can collect so that I'm able to continue to expand my world, because I need to start thinking about how I'm going to get to those ultimate goals that my kids gave me, which again are get to the Nether, which is going to require a wandering trader, which means I need enough space for him to spawn. I haven't seen one of those guys yet. I also need to get some gold so that I can convert a zombie villager into a villager. And to do that, I'm probably going to need some guys to spawn with some armor. But look at this. Look how many stinking creepers have spawned. I told you, creepers are the one thing I don't really want. And I have got a platform full of creepers. So not really what I was hoping for. But I'm going to go ahead and use my quick method here to destroy the creepers, because they are very annoying and I don't want them. And you'll see I go through this entire allotment of creepers because what I did want was to be able to get some string from those spiders and other mobs to spawn as well. So we're just kind of going through nights here because we need our mobs to spawn. You'll see now I've actually got an Enderman out there. I've got a spider coming at me. I'm going to close the doors here. That's why my daughter told me to build a house, because that would keep me safe from those scary spiders. And now I've got the Enderman kind of on my trail. I think I must have looked at him because he's coming at me. So I'm a little scared. I don't know if he can transport himself into my house here, but I know he's 3 blocks tall and I'm only 2 blocks tall. So I'm going to go ahead and build some protection here in the corner for myself. And I'm going to get his attention fully. And he almost gets me there, but I managed to run into my house. And good news is it looks like he's not going to follow me into the house. So I'm going to go ahead and just kill him here while he stands right outside the door. And I'm safe in this area with my low ceiling. I'm going to eat some fish here, get myself back to full health before I go after this Enderman. And yep, that's going to do it for him. He's going to be at his end point here pretty soon. We're going to go ahead and we're going to make sure that this Enderman is no more. And just about there, boom, got him. Killed my first Enderman. That was a success. Feeling pretty good about myself. So we're going to go back to what we were doing here and killing mobs and expanding our platform. Mining the cobblestone, doing a little fishing, killing mobs, sleeping through nights. We're about 10, 15 days into the challenge at this point, and I finally see a mob carrying a iron shovel. Well, needless to say, I want that iron shovel. If the zombie's going to carry one, I'm going to kill him so that I get it. And boom, just like that, he dropped me the iron shovel. So I'm going to get this last zombie, and then I'm going to go out through my gate here, and I'm going to collect my first iron tool, which is an iron shovel, which I can melt down for 1 iron ingot. But at this point, not really any reason to do that, so I'm not going to. But I'm going to keep playing this and just keep killing mobs and making my way through days. Now, I do have a witch again out here. Again, too early for me to need that, but I accidentally get his attention, and he's going to start throwing things at me, to which I kind of wish that I had a bow and arrow, when my son reminds me that you can make a bow and arrow. So rather than risking my life here and trying to kill the witch up close and personal, my son making that point, I'm going to go ahead back and I'm going to build myself that bow and arrow. I have collected some arrows from skeletons at this point, so I have some arrows, and I think I have string. So let's go ahead and see if I can craft up a bow and arrow. First of all, of course, I have to survive the poison from this witch, which is not exactly easy to do because it's going to keep bringing me down to half a heart until the poison goes away. But it won't kill me. It'll just bring me to half a heart. So I'm going to cook up some more fish so that I can get myself back up to full health here when the time comes. Waiting out this poison, waiting out this poison, waiting out this poison. And I actually lied. My son hadn't told me yet about the bow and arrow because I was still under the impression that the only way I could get a bow and arrow was to kill a skeleton, which was pretty silly of me because it's pretty obvious that you can make a bow and arrow. It is Minecraft, after all, not mine kill a skeleton and get their bow. But my son does at some point here point out to me that you can build your own bow and arrow, Dad. You don't need to wait for one. So while the witch is out there hanging with his pal, the creeper, I'm getting that advice from my son. And I'm going to ultimately figure out that I can make my own bow and arrow with the string that I have. Maybe. First, I'm going to heal myself a little more, eating my watermelon. Going to grab my fish out of the furnace. Cook up some more torches. And I'm going to get myself up to full health because at this point, I think I'm still thinking I need to go fight this witch on my own. Except my son saw the string in my chest, and that's what led him to say, Dad, quit being a moron here. Go ahead and make yourself a bow and arrow. So now that I've got a bow and I have those 7 arrows that you can see, I can go ahead and I can attack this witch from a distance and take him out without taking myself out. Of course, requires a little bit of aim that I apparently don't have. Get that take aim advancement when I do finally get some aim, and I take this witch out post haste. Post haste meaning about 5 arrows later. And sure enough, I do take him down. He drops me some redstone. He drops me some glow dust. And of course, now that I've discovered this nifty bow and arrow, I'm going to take the creeper out even more easily than before, and even drop me some sugar. So I've got all sorts of new items that this witch just dropped me. And I'm feeling pretty good about myself with my bow and arrow in hand, a few more arrows, and a nice spawning platform for my witch. Going to go ahead and collect some more resources here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to keep fishing away here, keep collecting resources, keep doing whatever I can to keep my world moving forward. Because at the end of the day, in order to achieve my goals, that's just what I've got to do. I've got to collect as many resources as I can, keep expanding my platform, make it so that I can get a wandering trader maybe, make it so that I can get some zombie villagers. You know, at the end of the day, I've got to remember what my goals are. My goals are to survive, which I'm doing that just fine. And my goals are to get to the Nether and to breed villagers. Well, right now, I just got myself a little bit of luck, which is that a zombie riding a chicken has appeared. And as those of you who have seen the Minecraft movie can probably recall, that is what we call a chicken jockey. And a chicken jockey really does me no good whatsoever. In fact, they're kind of dangerous. But what does do me some good is the chicken. And quite frankly, I would love to have myself a chicken. So I'm going to go ahead and figure out a way here to capture this chicken. And as you can see there, when I try to kill the zombie off the chicken's back, it doesn't work so well. I am going to very quickly kill my chicken trying to get my zombie off his back. So that's not going to be a viable option. The much better option is going to be to go ahead and get the better option is going to be to go ahead and get the zombie off by letting him burn in the daylight, which is very much doable. And we're going to just have to give ourselves a space to keep him safe so that when he does burn off, we don't lose the chicken. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to build ourselves a little chicken pen right next to our mob area so that we can wait for day and get our chicken free from our baby zombie. So what we'll do here is we'll just add some additional stone fences, and we'll build ourselves a little chicken pen that we can, for now, hold a chicken and a zombie. But ultimately, we're just going to want that chicken, and we're going to watch the zombie hopefully burn up in the sunlight. So we'll open up the gate here. We'll let the zombie through with the chicken jockey, if you will. We'll close them off in there. And now we have the opportunity to get ourselves our first passive mob, a lovely gray chicken. We'll call him Chicken Charlie. Chicken Charlie here is going to have to wait out the evening with a zombie on his back because there's nothing we can do until daylight when the zombie will ultimately fry and we'll be left with the chicken. So we'll see what happens here through the night. We're going to go ahead and kill some zombies, and we're going to wait out the evening and hope that Chicken Charlie doesn't go anywhere while the night weighs on. We're not going to go to sleep because we want to make sure that we don't lose him. So we'll do a little bit of fishing while we wait. And sure enough, as we watch here, the zombie does begin to burn, and Chicken Charlie is going to be free of his zombie rider here any second now. I've never done this before, so I get a little nervous that maybe my chicken's going to catch fire. So I do prepare a bucket just in case. But sure enough, the zombie burns off and Charlie is now a free chicken, no rider whatsoever. We're going to give him some seeds here, thinking that maybe that'll help us so that he doesn't despawn. And sure enough, we're going to go ahead and clear out our platform and we're going to go back to work because now we have a chicken and our world is feeling pretty good. So we start thinking about what we need to do next. Well, going back to those goals of getting to the Nether and breeding villagers, what we're going to need for that is we're going to need that wandering trader with the pointed dripstone so that we can multiply our lava and build a Nether portal. And we're going to need some golden apples. Well, to get golden apples, we're going to need gold. And there's only 2 ways to get gold in this world. And one of those is to build a pig farm and to have lightning strike said pig farm and turn those pigs into zombie hoglins. Well, sorry, zombified piglins, my daughter tells me. In order to do that, we obviously first need pigs, which we don't have. And we also would need a lightning rod, which we don't have. So the other way to do it is to build a mob grinder and to get mobs in mass quantities that are wearing gold armor, because every gold armor piece that we collect, we can smelt into one golden ingot. So the way that I like to build a mob grinder is to put a platform way up in the air and to build a actual mob grinder that will cause mobs to spawn and fall into an area where I can easily kill them and they cannot kill me. That's the key here to a mob grinder is you want to be able to kill them without them killing you. And you want to be able to do it in mass quantities because that's the only way that you're ever going to get enough, because they don't all spawn wearing armor and they don't all drop the armor when they spawn wearing it. So you need those kind of two pieces to work together for you where you get enough of them that you can actually get the armor and smelt it down. So I'm going to build this 64 blocks up in the air, and then I'm going to build a platform around it, and we're going to build a mob grinder on top of this. So the mobs will actually be another 20, 30 blocks up in the air where they spawn. So instead of like Y64, where my main platform is, we'll be more like Y150-ish, where the mobs will spawn. And that gives them a higher spawn rate. At least that's what I've been told. But to get down from this tower, of course, I need a way down without falling because I can't die. This is hardcore. So we're going to go ahead and drop some water. And we're going to now use the water to ride down and place ladders so that we have a way back up onto this tower. So you'll see me here riding down on the water and placing ladders all the way down so that when I'm ready, I can come back up with more resources and actually build out the mob grinder itself. So this is my master plan. We're going to build a mob grinder. We're going to use that to collect all sorts of resources. We'll get bows, we'll get armor, we'll get arrows, we'll get bones. So we won't have any food issues because we'll have enough bones to make all the bone meal that we could possibly want or need. And from there, I think we're going to be in pretty good shape to go ahead and continue towards our ultimate goal. So built the ladder all the way down. I think I missed one spot, but that's no big deal. We can always add that later. Right now, I just need to collect more resources. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mine more cobblestone. I'm going to cut more wood because I need a lot of wood for trapdoors and I need a lot of cobblestone to build my platform. Throughout this all, I'm also going to be collecting food. I'm also going to be going ahead and killing some mobs. But no, Chicken Charlie. Where'd Chicken Charlie go? Oh, man. Somehow, while I was building my tower, Chicken Charlie has disappeared. I don't know where he went. I don't know what happened to him, but I'm looking everywhere, and I just don't see him. He was in this pen that I built specifically for him, and I don't know what happened. I even go as far as to look under a piece of cobblestone. Sure enough, he's not there. And I don't know where he could have gone because he was fully enclosed, with the exception of that tiny little gap there in the floor. And I don't know, but I think we're just going to have to accept the fact that Chicken Charlie is no more. That's sad. But alas, we're going to move on and we're going to continue to collect resources so that we can build our mob grinder. Now you'll notice as I'm collecting the cobblestone here, every once in a while a piece falls down this hole. And when it falls down this hole, I have to go down in the water, risking my life over the abyss to collect it. That's kind of annoying me. So I do continue to try my best to deal with it. But ultimately, I get a great idea that turns out to be a really, really bad idea. I do go ahead and plug up this hole. And when I plug up that hole and I break this piece of cobblestone, you're going to see the absolute disaster that happens when water meets lava instead of lava meeting water. Yep. Like I said before, when the water meets the lava, it turns into obsidian. What we need for a cobblestone generator is lava meeting water and not the other way around. And by plugging that hole, I caused the opposite to happen. And I caused water to meet my lava, turning it into a single block of obsidian and removing my lava permanently. And you can see here now with the water removed that is a block of obsidian, a useless single block of obsidian. I take my anger out on these spiders here because why not? They may as well die since now my world is essentially wrecked. I'm going to consult my children, ask them whether or not there's any way whatsoever that I can salvage this world. and they're going to confirm for me that no, Dad, there is not any way to salvage this world because you have just destroyed your one and only source of lava. And in order to get to the Nether, I needed to turn that lava into at least 3, 6, 8, 10 blocks of obsidian so that I could make myself another portal. So just as soon as I built myself a tower to start doing some mob grinding, I have ruined my game by turning my only lava into obsidian. So attempt 2 didn't end in death, but it did end in absolute failure as I went ahead and destroyed my one and only block of lava that I needed. And that, my friends, is that. And that's it for episode 1 here. We have 2 attempts in the books, both of them unsuccessful. The first, I couldn't even get a stinking tree to grow or a mob to spawn. The second, I went ahead and ruined everything by letting my water meet my lava, giving me obsidian instead of cobblestone. But fear not, I am going to make additional attempts at this until I get it right. The goals my kids set for me: get to the Nether and breed some villagers. I will accomplish those goals. I promise you. I don't care how many attempts it takes me. Hopefully only 3, because honestly, it's a little embarrassing that 2 attempts in the books and I wasn't able to achieve either goal. But I'm not one to give up that easily. I am the Dad Crafter, and I'm going to keep crafting until I show my kids that I can achieve the goal that they set out for me. I hope you enjoyed this first episode. If you did, please like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and come on back for more, because episode 2 will be here before you know it. And for those of you watching the remix, no wait necessary. Here's episode 2. I am the Dad Crafter, and welcome back for another episode of Dadcrafter Takes on the Skyblock Challenge. As you remember from last time, my kids challenged me to defeat Minecraft in a Skyblock challenge where they gave me a 2-part challenge. First, I need to get to the Nether. Second, I need to breed some villagers. You saw attempts 1 and 2 on episode 1. Well, here we go with attempt number 3. Once again, we're going to start off here on the Skyblock with nothing but 1 tree, a starter chest with a few different items in it, and this small block for me to work on and go ahead and build my world. Now, attempts number 1 and 2 ended in utter failure. In attempt number 1, I wasn't even able to get myself through the initial challenge of growing a tree or getting mobs to spawn before I decided to go ahead and end that world with an epic fall into the void. In attempt number 2, we were doing much better. We got ourselves a cobblestone generator, and we were able to expand our platform quite a bit. We were able to grow a tree. In fact, we grew multiple trees. We were able to spawn some mobs. We even managed to get ourselves a chicken jockey, which we were able to rescue the chicken from, who we lovingly named Chicken Charlie. Unfortunately, Chicken Charlie despawned on us, and shortly thereafter, we made an epic mistake, and we accidentally closed off the hole beneath the water on our cobblestone generator. And this led to a terrible, terrible mishap where the water flowed into the lava. And if you recall from that episode, we talked about this. The lava must flow into the water in order to generate cobblestone. When the water flows into the lava, we generate obsidian. And that is, in fact, what we ended up with was 1 block of obsidian and nothing more. And really not too much that we could do with that 1 block of obsidian. And it ruined our chances of getting to the Nether, because with only that 1 block of obsidian, there was no way that we could actually build a Nether portal. You need 3, 6, 8, 10 blocks of obsidian at minimum to build a Nether portal. And in order to get those in a Skyblock challenge, we need lava. In fact, we need 10 buckets worth of lava. And in order to get those 10 buckets, we needed that first bucket, and we need some dripstone, some pointed dripstone, which we would acquire from a wandering trader. And we would use that to then multiply our lava. Lava over a dripstone, a pointed dripstone, will drip into a cauldron. So we'd also need a cauldron. And then that lava will turn into an additional bucket of lava over and over again. So we can actually generate more lava from that first bit of lava. Now, you can see I'm again building my cobblestone generator to start things off here. And you can see I've made sure that I have my water flowing down so that it won't flow into my lava. And as you saw right there, the lava flowed into the water. That's exactly what we want. That will generate cobblestone. The other way around, we get obsidian. We don't want obsidian. Not that we don't. We do want obsidian in the long term, but in the short term, we don't. Because our challenge from my children is to get to the Nether. And to get to the Nether, we need more than one obsidian. So we're going to go ahead and chop this tree here because we need a pickaxe. We need to make ourselves a crafting table. And then with that crafting table, we need to make ourselves a pickaxe. With the pickaxe in hand, we'll be able to go ahead and start mining this cobblestone. And as we mine the cobblestone, we'll be able to use it to build out our platform, to actually expand the platform from which we have to work here, giving us some more space. Now, I'm trying my best to conserve dirt here also because I've realized that we do need dirt in order to grow things on our platform here. So we'll make sure that we keep some dirt. And I'm going to go ahead and fast forward here because I'm just going to mine a whole bunch of cobblestone, and you guys don't need to see that. But now we can go ahead and we can craft some cobblestone slabs, and we will use those cobblestone slabs to expand our platform. Same approach that we took in attempt number 2. We're going to repeat it here in attempt number 1. We're going to put our cobblestone slabs down at the very bottom layer of dirt because we're going to want to ultimately be able to mine away this upper layer of dirt so that we can use it also to expand. But we're going to go ahead and build down low. Now I'm crouching as I crawl to the edge. Now this is something I didn't know when I first started playing Minecraft, is that you can crouch and you won't fall off the edge. You can see I'm standing pretty much off the edge. Like the guy's got maybe 2 toes hanging on to that dirt right there, but he's not going to fall because I'm in the crouch position. When I first played Minecraft, I got all the way to the end. I defeated the Ender Dragon, and I was trying to make my way out to the end islands. And I was trying to place blocks without crouching because I had no idea that that's what you had to do, or that's what you could do in order to not fall off the edge. And it's incredibly difficult and quite perilous to actually be standing over the void in the end and try to place stones, try to place blocks one after the next to make a pathway to that, end island. When you're talking about placing hundreds of blocks and doing it without crouching, you're kind of just like inching your way toward the edge and then placing a block, and inching your way towards the edge and placing a block. And sure enough, what happened was I inched my way a little too far and I fell right into the void. Well, from there, I learned shortly thereafter that if you just crouch, you don't deal with that issue. So you'll see that I crouch anytime that I get close to the edge, because that way I won't fall off the edge. Now you can see here, I'm having that same issue where the cobblestone just keeps falling down into the water. Not really what I want to have happen, which was driving me nuts in the last attempt, but was what ultimately led me to make my epic mistake and mess up my cobblestone generator. So we're not going to do anything here to mess up that cobblestone generator. That is a key to our survival in this world. Now you can see I've chopped down my tree, so we're going to go ahead and hopefully get a sapling. But again, I'm going to perilously go down this column of water and get my cobblestone that fell through. And you can see what I'm trying to figure out here now is how can I maybe block this off from underneath? Is there a way that I can stop the stuff from falling down? And we'll see. Maybe I'll come up with a way to stop that from happening. But for now, we're just going to continue doing our thing here. And we're going to go back under, and we're going to try placing some blocks underneath the dirt here, because the dirt, we don't want to lose it if we if we mine it. And the only way to make sure we don't is for there to be something actually underneath it. Now, I only have so much air in my lungs, so I can't stay underwater forever. So I'm kind of going up and down here, and you can sort of tell that I've placed the cobblestone slabs underneath the dirt blocks here. So I'm actually creating a platform underneath my original platform. And this is, again, so that I can actually mine away the dirt without losing it. So we'll go ahead and we'll just be placing these slabs underneath to kind of cover the whole island as best as we can. And I should have done this during the day because it's kind of hard to see here at night. But what I'm doing here right now is covering that whole bottom layer with the cobblestone slabs so that my dirt here can be mined without losing it. Kind of a genius idea that I came up with. So right now, it's all about just expanding the platform. Very much the same approach as attempt 2, just a little bit more advanced. Like you can see there, I just mined that dirt and I didn't lose it. And that's huge because you only have so much dirt. You start the game with the dirt that you start with, and any other dirt that you get is going to have to come through some pretty difficult methods. So not losing the easy dirt that you start with is definitely the way to go here. So just kind of trying to plot out my island and thinking through how am I going to build this platform, because I've got to do kind of the same things as before. I'm going to have to build myself a mob spawner. I'm going to have to build myself a way to, oh, and there it is. I just destroyed my lava. As you saw there, ladies and gentlemen, I just placed a block directly on top of my lava. What I was trying to do there was to surround my lava with some blocks, and I accidentally clicked directly on top of my lava. And for those who don't know, that's one way to mess up a world. Attempt 3 is now over. What I did there was I destroyed my lava by covering it with cobblestone. You can't do that. Once you do that, your lava is gone. So attempt 3 will go down in the books as yet another disaster. In fact, I think attempt 3 was my shortest attempt yet. So on to attempt number 4. In attempt number 4, I feel pretty good about this one. We're going to, again, take the same approach. We're going to build that cobblestone generator. We're going to mine some dirt. We're going to mine the tree. We're going to go ahead and give ourselves a way to build out our platform, because once again, in attempt number 4, our goals are the same. We got to get to the Nether. So we need to get enough lava to build a Nether portal, and we need to breed some villagers. So we need to get a couple of zombie villagers. We need a witch to weaken them. And then, of course, we need golden apples to actually do the final conversion from zombie villager to villager. So we've got some things that we need to do here. We need to build out that cobblestone generator. We need to expand our island. In order to do that, we do need the lava and the ice from our starter chest. The ice will give us the water. And you can see here, I finally have figured out the solution to my original problem, which is just put one block underneath the waterfall, and now the lava will flow into the water like it needs to, but the water won't disappear down into the abyss. It won't flow down into the abyss like it was doing before. So we can go ahead now, we can place our lava, and it's going to flow into the water just like we need it to. Cobblestone generator accomplished, with a base, a bottom below our water, so we won't just lose all of our items, all of our cobblestone that we mine down into the water. So back to the same thing as before. We need to get some logs. We need to create a crafting table. We need to create a pickaxe, and then we can go ahead and start mining that cobblestone. Then we'll expand our platform so that we can cut down this tree all the way, and that will then allow us to get the saplings that fall without losing them into the abyss, so that we can grow more trees and continue our world. A lot of little things that you've got to do here to start a Skyblock challenge. And I like to think I'm starting to maybe get good at it. I don't know. It's hard to say because, attempts number 1, 2, and 3 did not go so well. But attempt number 4, I feel like, we're off to a good start here. We've figured out some things that we didn't have before. Like, look at that cobblestone goes into the water there, but doesn't fall down into the abyss. So let's go ahead now. We crafted ourselves a stone pickaxe, and we're going to go ahead and boom, just like that, we've mined almost 60 cobblestone. And now we're going to make ourselves some cobblestone slabs, and we're going to do the same thing as before. We're going to go ahead and we're going to place those down at the base layer so that we can start expanding our platform, but we want to expand it down low. So yeah, pretty much the same approach here. This probably looks a lot like attempt 3 so far. And that's because it is a lot like attempt 3 so far. It's just attempt 4 because in attempt 3, we destroyed our one and only block of lava by placing a block on top of it. So learning from our mistakes, we'll make sure that we don't do that this time in attempt number 4. We're going to make attempt number 4. I've got a good feeling. Attempt number 4 is feeling pretty good. So we're going to make sure that we don't make the same mistakes that we made in attempt number 3. Now, these are what are called bottom slabs. As you can see, they line up with the bottom half of the dirt block. So on a bottom slab, mobs won't spawn. So we have to kind of keep that in mind here, that when we build these out, like we're actually building a spawn-proof platform, which is kind of cool. It wasn't really my intention, but it is something that, we can be aware of here. And this time you can see I'm going to surround my lava with cobblestone like I was trying to do in attempt number 3, but I'm going to do it without destroying my lava. Because you can't place the block directly on the lava. You have to place the block next to it. And you can see kind of why I'm surrounding it there as that fire just broke out. the lava will start fires. If you don't enclose it in stone or at least dirt, it will eventually start a fire. It'll, cause things that are wood nearby to catch fire, and that's not really what we want. So mining more cobblestone, building more platform. We now want to go ahead and do what we did in the last attempt and put a platform underneath our platform. So I'm going to remove that bottom block from the water. That'll make the water flow down into the abyss. And now I can go ahead down that column of water, and I can place these slabs underneath my island. These will be top slabs, of course, because now they're going to be representing the top half of a block. Not that that makes a difference here. Nothing's going to spawn on them since they're under dirt. But just so you know, like that is the difference there. When you put a slab at the top, it's a top slab. At the bottom, it's a bottom slab. Top slabs spawn, bottom slabs don't. And we can go ahead now and get all of this dirt mined, because what we want here is I want all the dirt. I want to be able to place the dirt in a way that, I can use it for farming, in a way that I can use it for animal spawning. Ultimately, this dirt is very important because, animals won't spawn on cobblestone. And I'm going to ultimately need some pigs, because those pigs I'm going to be able to turn into zombified piglins. And those zombified piglins are how I'm going to get gold. When lightning strikes a pig, it turns into a zombie piglin. And when a zombified piglin gets killed, it drops gold nuggets, gold ingots, gold swords. So ultimately, we're going to need at least 2 pigs so we can breed those, build a pig pen, put a lightning rod in the middle. To get that lightning rod, we're going to have to get some drowns to get some copper. So all sorts of fun stuff that we're going to need to do in order to accomplish these goals. But we're going to need that gold in order to get the villagers. And, it looks like I've mined all my dirt now. So I'm going to just continue expanding my platform here. We're going to start, putting some dirt down now where we want it so that we can build a farm, because ultimately that's, what I want here is I want to have a farm. And I'm just kind of looking at my playing surface here, and I think I'm just starting to realize that, I've mined all my dirt. I've left only the one block that had the tree on it. And that's a problem, because in order for mobs to spawn, in order for passive mobs like animals to spawn, I actually need grass. And to get grass, I need grass. I know that sounds kind of funny, but you can't grow grass without grass. So the way grass spreads in Minecraft is you need a block that has grass growing on it. You put another block of dirt next to that grass block, and then grass will spawn on the dirt block that doesn't have grass. Unfortunately, what I've done is I have mined all of my dirt. Now, I'm going to see if I can maybe make grass grow. I'm making a wild attempt here by making a hoe and seeing, if I hoe the dirt, will that, bring grass around? But, the sad truth here is I don't think that's going to work out so well for me. So let's see what I can figure out here, because I currently have all the dirt on my island mined. It's all in stacks in my inventory, but what I need is the ability to grow grass. So I'm going to try to come up with some ideas here. I'm going to try placing some water in the middle of the dirt, and I'm going to see if by maybe bone mealing it, maybe if I grow something on it, but I can't even grow wheat without grass, because I need to bone meal the grass in order to get the tall grass to grow, and then that tall grass is what will ultimately give me the wheat seeds. So I'm thinking I'm in trouble here, because I've got irrigated land, but I don't have grass. Guys, I was feeling really good about attempt number 4. I was feeling really good right up until the point where I realized that I killed all the grass. So going to try bone meal. Maybe bone meal will save the day. Maybe if we just bone meal this dirt here, it'll turn into grass. Maybe if we bone meal the irrigated dirt, it'll turn into grass. Boy, I think I've screwed up again here on attempt number 4. Well, I talked about how I learned my lesson, and I just learned another very important lesson, which is don't mine all your grass blocks, because if you mine all your grass blocks, you have no way of growing new grass. Minecraft is a really fun game, everybody, but it is also a game that is not so forgiving when you're playing on a island in the sky with a very small predetermined amount of space and resources, and no way to get additional resources when you lose one of those resources. And in this case, the resource that I've lost was grass. And that's it. Attempt number 4 goes down in flames just as fast as attempt number 3. And that's going to be it for today's episode. I hope you've enjoyed watching me become an utter failure over and over again. I am the Dadcrafter, and I will get this challenge. I will be back with attempt number 5 here in the next episode. Thanks for tuning in. If you like the show, like it, subscribe. We'll see you next time. And that's it for the remix of episodes 1 and 2. If you want to see where the series goes from here, tune in to episode 3 on the Dadcrafter channel.